No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.
Biddly, 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 bo. Yes, yo. Here we go. There ain't nobody down round here, yo. You know what time it is. Get that badger in and on and over here. We had to move back to get his greatness in. The clout chasers here. The clock watchers are in and on and over here. I want to do a quick shout out to Bourne, Leeds, Southie, and Harry for the super chats today. I've made a deal with everybody that I'm going to do the super chats. I'm going to shout out everybody from the Crazy Thursday night, like sporadically. So I'm going to start with CH and Christopher Spofford Chapel, legendary MVG, and Baby Bremner, and Mark Bradley, and Ming, and Linianum, Solenham, Linianum, and Righteous One, and 78 RPM, and Southie, and Roller Blunt, and Mimi, BMG, Pete Booth, and Drinks and Drives, and Lee Gladwin. Lee Gladwin, apologies, said your name wrong, but you know the joke. I couldn't help myself. I actually meant to just say a couple, but the clock watcher will be going ballistic. There's been nothing mentioned. I want to discuss the weekend that's just currently ongoing, but already the fan base is in meltdown. Sunderland have got a good win against West Ham. They've just won 3-0. What did we learn from it? We learned that Sunderland had super low possession, extremely fast going forward. They just sort of get the ball forward as quickly as they can. They lose the ball very quickly. But they do try and create chances. Now, they've got 3 goals, 3-0. West Ham are a poor side. Ultimately, I don't know why that doesn't lift the fan base up into a frenzy and think Sunderland, I know they've spent well, and I know everybody for some reason thinks we're in direct competition with Sunderland, and I get it to some extent, because if they're in the relegation battle, it puts us above, doesn't it? But there's no reason why Sunderland can't stay up as well. And to be honest, I hope they do. I've said it at the start of the season. There's a few Sunderland fans that watch the channel. That's not why I want them to stay up. I like Sunderland. I think they're a good club to have in the Premier League. I think Leeds United are. I think most Sunderland fans would agree with that Leeds and Sunderland should both be in the Premier League. But unfortunately, not everybody can be. West Ham are doomed. I actually think, eventually they will go down. They've been a yo-yo club for a long, long time. And I know there's plenty of West Ham fans that will be absolutely fuming with that statement. But just the same as Fulham and stuff, Fulham won't go down this season, but in the next 5-6 years, they'll go down. It's hard to keep turning over. Bournemouth will end up going down. Brighton will go down. Not as far as they'll go down. It's just going to take some time in it for these teams to sort of like capitulate a little bit. I'm hopeful that Sunderland are decent, as long as it's not to the behests or to the detriment of us, where we end up going down instead of Sunderland. All we need to do is focus on our games. I'm sick to death of hearing about, it's the step up. Sunderland have just gone and put it on West Ham, beat them 3-0 with no possession, just getting the ball forward, being pretty rigid. Burnley got beat pretty bad. I've been dipping in and out of each game. I sort of watched about 20 minutes of each game. The Aston Villa Newcastle game today was exceptional, and that type of a game is where the pace of the Premier League is absolutely wild, and it's going to be extremely hard to deal with. Villa actually started really well in that game and ended up being in a situation where Newcastle were just too much for them. Newcastle obviously didn't have Isak, however you want to say his name. Pronunciation, as you well know, is not my forte. So they didn't have that clinical edge. But Anthony going forward and Elanga, they're just rapid, fast. Harvey Barnes, to be fair to him, he's a constant threat. Ended up being 0-0. There's been too much spoke about Bournemouth getting 2 goals at Anfield yesterday. Liverpool will come. Well, I say will come good. They've got a lot of new players in also, haven't they? They won the league last year. They will get on a bit of a train and they will get going. The thing about Liverpool is they always get goals, don't they? So they score a minimum of 2 goals a game, quite literally, to Liverpool. They're in no threat. So they've had a bit of a wobble against Bournemouth. Bournemouth are going to be decent. All the Premier League teams are decent, but this idea of the step up, we should be taking a lot of encouragement from Sunderland. I've been very well educated also by Lockie, who mentioned the fact that Sunderland, the manager often starts well. The team start really well. And then they end up in a scenario, come Christmas, where they can't quite maintain it. Lebris or whatever he's called, can't say his name. Lebris. Everywhere he's been, his sides have been like that. They've been 3rd or 4th in the league, and then they've dropped off. Now, if you remember, to be fair, last year Sunderland were allegedly the best team in the league, weren't they? They started extremely well, and then they really dropped off. They fell off the face of the earth. Really ended up, just being in the playoffs. We're still you know, I mean, Sunderland are currently top of the league on goal difference. So, you know, and I'm not saying that matters, but it's kind of funny, isn't it? You know, we've been tipped to go down with them and they're currently top after, you know, not everybody's played, obviously, yet. I'm about to watch Man City, which will be another gripping game, you know, against Wolves, who, again, like I've said in previous videos, we're hopeful that they just run away with it. All we have to worry about is us. If Sunderland can do that to West Ham today, I think Sunderland will still struggle throughout the season. I think we'll struggle throughout the season, but I think Everton have actually done a bit of good business with Grealish, and they've got Dewsbury Hall and stuff, so they've sorted themselves out. They're going to come on Monday for the 3 points, aren't they? They're going to want Moyes. Is no messing about with him. Although, you know, I think he'd probably settle for a point. My point being, if we leave on Monday with a point, if we get 4 points out of Arsenal and Everton, we've had a right week, haven't we? Right couple of weeks. So, you know, you've got to look at just in each individual game, just go, can we do a job on Everton? All we have to worry about is being competitive in the games, never shirking anything, never losing no responsibility, everybody taking it some onus upon themselves. The game against Villa and Newcastle, that's levels. The game with Sunderland, West Ham, that wasn't levels. Brighton have drawn today with Fulham. I watched about 35 minutes of that game. That wasn't levels to me. That they're good sides. They've got some good players, but they're not terrifying teams, in my opinion. There's an argument to say that Villa and Newcastle with Eddie Howe and Unai Emery have potentially got the best managers in the league. And I think, you know, genuinely, money-wise, I know Newcastle got plenty of money, but they're struggling to spend it. And, you know, obviously with the PSR stuff, they're trying to sort of, in my opinion, hold them back and hold them down, while your Man Cities and your Man Uniteds and your Chelseas have all been able to spend that money and accumulate all that money and be able to just, you know, build a worldwide brand and then start throwing the money about left, right and centre. And I think they're holding Newcastle back with it a little bit. But Eddie Howe's a G. I mean, you know, as good as I think Alanga is, and as good as I think Harvey Barnes is, and as good as I think Anthony Gordon is, they're not top tier Premier League players. And I hope nobody takes that too literal, because I think they're absolutely excellent. But when we're talking about, you know, Isak, who's obviously was missing today, talking about Haaland, obviously previously De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, but, you know, pick anybody from front line at Liverpool at the moment. I mean, Ekatike guy obviously looks good, but, you know, not on Salah's level, for instance. You know, they've made some good signings of Liverpool. My point being, McGinn, who plays in middle for Aston Villa, what's McGinn? Just super competitive. I know Bruno's a brilliant world-class player, but he's probably not world-class. He's just unbelievably excellent. Tonali, unbelievably excellent. Joe Linton, just a beast. I love Joe Linton so much. He's probably my favourite player outside of Leeds United, genuinely. I can't get enough of him. I don't know what it is about him. He's just a big beast. And we've brought in Longstaff, who's the fourth to that tier. So my point being is just, if you're super competitive, and I know if there's, I mean, I actually know a Newcastle fan really well. He's one of my best friends, but and he'll probably give me absolute hurdles of abuse for saying that Anthony Gordon's not the man or Harvey Barnes isn't. But I'm not saying that they're not excellent. My point being is they're just set up to play well. Eddie Howe's got it perfectly done, and I do believe my man Faki Fucker is all over this season. He knows exactly what we need to do. I'm so confident. I'm so comfortable with the squad. I feel like we're lions in the camp. And until I see otherwise, I am not going to be hitting the panic button. There's absolutely no need. Rant alert. There's no need. Let's just get into Monday, get stuck into Everton, who are a decent team, as every single Premier League side are. Let's have a look, see what we've done at the end of it. Once we get 10 games in, we'll have a real good idea of what we've got, won't we? If we're bringing a couple of tricky wingers, maybe somebody else up top. Dominic Calvert-Lewin today in that Newcastle and Aston Villa game, which really well competed game. If he was up top today, he would have loved it. He'd have filled his boots. He'd have been in behind. He's a big, fast character, and he's strong as well. He can hold defenders off. I think Parisley, if he gets in front of goal, he'll nick some late goals. If we end up with Calvert-Lewin being the number 9, so I think if he's fit, you know, we do go with Calvert-Lewin. And then Parisley off the bench. Metcha offers something completely different. Dan James, Nonto, Ramazani, Bogle at right back. Goodmanson looks good at left back. Stack looks brilliant. Longstaff, I know, is brilliant. Ampadu's brilliant. Gruev's looks strong. Tanaka's a Donny. Do you know what I mean? Let's look at the positives in us rather than going like, Sunderland have signed Xhaka, who got abused at Arsenal and went and won league with the Jabi Alonso in a league that really nobody watches or cares about too much, and it's a total different pace. Sunderland will probably drop off, as you know you would expect. Been plenty of draws already. You know, what are we? 7 games or something? Has there been on 6 games or something? I don't know. Let's go watch Man City beat Wolves. Wolves will be bottom at league because hopefully they get beat 4-0 today. This is what we want. We want Chelsea tomorrow to batter Crystal Palace 4-0, don't we? And Crystal Palace get further down. Brentford and Nottingham Forest, I'll take a draw at that one. You know, just got to look at everything. And I'm being slightly pedantic because I don't care about the results of these other games. I'm joking about Sunderland winning 3-0. I could do without it just because Twitter goes into like, look, I fucking told you they'd be signing players left, right, and centre. They're fucking on another level. They've caught up and they've gone beyond. It's like we've made some mint signings. We need some icing on cake, but we've made some mint signings. Let's have it right, boys. I'm excited about Monday. Let's get behind it. Are you not behind it? Are you not buzzing about Ellen Road under the lights on Monday night when everything else is settled? We are the headline fixture, in my opinion. They're waiting for Leeds United. They're waiting for Ellen Road to bus it, man. Bus it. Monday night football, all eyes on Leeds United, all eyes on our new players, all eyes on our championship players, all eyes on them lads to go and try and make something of themselves and really put it on them. We've got Peri Sauce in there. Let's see what he's about. Punching, throwing, loving, laughing, catching, grabbing, saving, parrying. You know, the full job lot from him, innit? Corner gets whipped in. Cheers, take that. Cross gets whipped in. Cheers, take that. Tip over by if need be. Not push down onto the floor, not push into your own net. Bogle flying forward when, you know, Grealish is up against him a little bit and pushing him back a bit, and Grealish is trying to cheat 10 yards, and James sets off and Bogle's in behind. You know, they're a few players down, apparently, Everton, got a few injuries. I'm excited, boys. So should you be. Let's go, boy! Yes! Let's have it. Ain't nobody down round here. It's going to take 10 terrible losses for anybody to be down round here in this fucking room. I'm not sat in here on my own like a loser doing these videos to be down about it. Let's have it, boys. Peace.
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.